have some background and further understanding of the topic, here are some theories and concepts of science and technology with regards to robotics or machineries. As stated in the book Theory of Applied Robots by Reza and Hazar, Isaac Asimov proposed 4 refined laws of robotics to protect us from intelligent generations of robots. And these are: Law 0. A robot may not injure humanity or through inaction allow humanity to come to harm. Law 1. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to become to harm unless this would violate a higher order law. Law 2. A robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with a higher order law. Law 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with a higher order law. Although we are not far from the point where Asimov's rules will be applied, there is no imminent necessity. Still, it is essential to have a preparation. In addition, a robot is a reprogrammable, multifunctional manipulator designed to move material, components, tools, or specialized devices through changeable programmed movements for the execution of a range of tasks. It is according to the Robotics Institute of America.
There are many motivations for building robots that imitate life or living things. Over the years, one of the strongest motivations within the science of robotics has to make machines that imitate living things, or in particular, imitate animals and humans. We still do not understand what it is that makes living matter alive. If we did, we could build living machines, but it is clear that we do not have the technology to do that today. Living machines would be able to self-reproduce, find their own sources of energy, and repair themselves to some degree. They need not necessarily be built from our standard materials, silicon, and metal. Living machines will change all of our technologies with equivalent disruption as that introduced by electricity and that by plastics. Living machines will invade the fabric of our everyday lives. And to know, there are 3 truths to trying to build living machines. The first is to build robots with partial characteristics of living machines. The second is to use generalized evolutionary systems to investigate possible mechanisms and designs. And the third trust is to develop new mathematics of living systems. One of the most natural reasons for adopting a strategy of copying living beings is that they often represent a successful engineering designs for coping with certain problems.
As the world continued to evolve, so was the machinery in different industrial facilities that led to the development of an artificial intelligence. There are actually many advantages and disadvantages, and some of which are as follows. Advantage: we have increased productivity. Using robotic automation to tackle repetitive tasks makes complete sense. The second would be work in hazardous environments. Automated robots can minimize material waste and remove the need for humans to put themselves at an unnecessary risks. The third one would be accuracy and better quality. Industrial robots are able to provide better production quality and more precise and more reliable processes. The fourth one would be prestige. Having industrial robots in factory can give a wow factor to the clients and can help boost one's brand image. Of course, we won't be calling it as an advantage if it does not have a disadvantage, right? First, we have potential job losses. If a robot can perform at a faster, more consistent rate, then the fear is that humans may not be needed at all. The second one would be initial investment costs. And the third one would be safety. This is one of the most important things to consider when a company wants to integrate a robotic system in their manufacturing line. The fourth one would be expertise. Setting up an industrial robotic system for the first time requires significant expertise and training like other types of technology.
First, in terms of safety, you'll need to conduct a thorough risk assessment and choose an automation business that can assist you. Second, expertise. Reduce your dependency on robot automation businesses by teaching your own engineers how to program the robots. Third, potential job losses. To address this disadvantage, hospitals and governments should ensure that it cannot be replaced wholly or entirely because they must oversee robots, their actions, and most importantly, their treatment of patients. Lastly, initial investment cost. To cope with this disadvantage, they can simply wait for the robot's efficacy and efficiency to reach 90% or higher, because aside from the fact that their investment costs are a waste, a life is already at danger.
Science and technology plays an exceedingly vital and essential role on how I live and spend life. 5 impeccable examples would be: first, the materials and the gadgets I utilize in order for me to pursue online education. Second would be the power plants and machineries and equipments that proffer people, including me, our electricity and also internet connection. Third would be the transportational vehicles that help me get from one place to another, and that includes airplanes, bus, ships, and also motorcycles. Fourth would be the food industry with their combining technologies, machineries, and equipments that produce foods and drinks that we consume every single day. And lastly is what I call the entertainment devices, which includes television and radio that proffer me everyday information and news that I really need in order for me to be aware of what's happening in our world today. All of this are run by the compelling power of what science does to our society, and they affect my everyday living in a way that they help me get through, survive, and most importantly, thrive in this seemingly advanced technological world that we all dwell today.
So some of the notable human figures in the field of science and technology in use of robots, machines, in industrial facilities is an inadequate environmental condition caused by some of the industrial facilities causing air pollution. So industrial factories are major contributors to air pollution. The amount of toxic gases that factories release into the air increase health and environmental damage. In factories, toxic materials and gases like carbon dioxide and methane are burned and pumped out into the atmosphere. And next is water pollution. It produces pollutants that are extremely harmful to people and the environment. Many industrial facilities use fresh water to carry away waste from the plant into the rivers, lakes, and oceans.
I would like to invent a garbage truck with a sensor that detects and segregates the garbage. This is to help the Filipino garbage collectors to have an easier task of segregating the trash and to ensure their safety from contaminated materials. Garbage collectors, like in Surigao City, do not have gloves, and some of them do not have the proper attire for their job, putting them at a higher risk of vulnerability. Further, this also helps in providing a solution to the discipline of throwing trash away by Filipinos.
The current situation of our country with regards to science and technology is that it needs our undivided attention. What I mean by that is the government should look upon our very own inventions rather than invest in the other technologies that has been made in the other countries. These problems has not yet been addressed since 2016. According to the National Academy of Science and Technology Philippines, one of the key elements in the advancement of a country is science, technology, and innovation. Other countries around the world have already implemented STI. However, our country does not even invest adequate amount in our research and development to further revamp our technologies. With all that being said, we must further bring awareness to the technology of this country, especially at the current modern age, where we, as a country, clearly lack the driving force of this sector to bring us to the future of prosperity by utilizing science and technology for the Philippines.
Yeah, everybody just talk, nobody really do it. I'm not a やるまでしとけよ秘密に誰かと確認なんて不要自分のジャッジだけで break the walls ド派手なフェイクやろうより cool にロー